Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. We have a pretty big news for Monsters and Memories. We got the 3-month update from December all the way to February of this year. We're not going to go into it little by little. We're instead going to do an overview summary and then stop to also look at the art updates, which are pretty cool. I will be linking this in the description if you want to read it, line by line and go through it yourself. But this is going to be more of a summary, hopefully, so that you don't have to necessarily scroll through the entire document, but get the most important things out of the way. This also won't be super highly edited, as this is more of a news video. We'll put some effort in the new videos, don't worry. It's still going to be there. Most important news is that beta is upon us. That is starting on March 1st. That is on Sunday. We still don't have an exact time, but if you are on the Discord, I would recommend that you go there if you're not, to make sure that you know when the servers go up. There's going to be a lottery system, and essentially what they're doing is at the beginning of beta, they're going to let 200 people in per week via the lottery system. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but each person that gets in will be able to invite one other person. So effectively, that's 400 people per week through the lottery system. Now, also the people who were in the closed alpha will also get access to the beta. However, those people might not necessarily start with an invite off the get-go, just so that there aren't too many people flooding the servers at once. But that may change in the future, so I'll keep you posted if that does. But essentially, March 1st, if you haven't opted in through their website, I recommend that you do so that you're included in the lottery system. And then, if not, you're going to have the means to maybe ask somebody who got in to get you one of those invites. But yeah, excited. And also the most important thing for me is we're going to be able to stream the beta as opposed to the alpha, which we could not. So that means more videos for you guys, but also means that you'll be able to stop by the stream on Sunday. If you have questions, if you want to check out the game before you commit on during early access, you're more than welcome to stop by. Obviously, I can't really talk about or reveal anything from the alpha or prior, or give you like knowledge on like high level stuff or anything like that, but I will be able to showcase me playing the beta and more or less answering general questions about the game, things like that, hanging out. So you're more than welcome to stop by. They've made some updates to the server interest poll. There's now a lot more options, as you can see here: US West, US East, PvE, PvP, OCE, EU servers. So there's a big bunch of options here. Now this is just a poll, so it doesn't necessarily mean that every server that's listed here is actually going to make it to early access. This is so that they can gauge not only the interest, but how people are shifting, and then decide based on that. Obviously, if a server has like 0 people in it, then that won't be opened up, but at least they have the data, and if there's enough people then that warrants a server, they can go ahead and open it. So why bother? Essentially, the TLDR is they want to kind of get an idea of where the population is going so that they know how to prepare best for early access. So please go ahead and vote. I will also be including the list or the link to the poll in the description as well for this video. And finally, we get to the cool little updates. There's character art and concepts. Obviously, you're going to see what they do here is they usually have a list of everything that they changed, and then they have the images. So rather than go through one by one and read it and then have to scroll down, we're just going to scroll and kind of give you the rundown. But basically, we have new skins and models for the zombies, which are pretty cool. As you can see right here, different textures, different colors, brings new life. You might have seen this one in the thumbnail. You may also pause if I'm going a little bit too quickly, but these are the skins for the zombies, which are looking pretty rad. We also have some of them get together back to back, as well as with different hairstyles. And speaking of hairstyles, the humans have gotten new hairstyles and beards. As you can see over here, we're not necessarily going to zoom in on every single one, but you can see them in a row right here. Frodo, take the ring. And you might be asking why humans. They are actually working on all the races, and not all of them might be in necessarily now for the beginning of beta. So, and they're kind of letting us have access to the ones that they have finished, or at least they're in the process of finishing. We also have some new helmet models, and they kind of show you how they fit per character, which is kind of cool. You'll see some modifications. So, for example, the halflings will still have their hair. If you chose this option, to cover your eyes, you'll still have your eyes covered. So I think that's a nice little nod. To see how these adjust. For example, here the goblin, the male and the female, very different. The female has a more protruding nose, so that will affect how the model looks. Obviously, they have to adjust the same type of helmet to different types of heads, so you know, there's a little bit of leeway there, but it's looking pretty good. I'm liking the designs, and you have like different tier systems. So you have one that's just a headband, you have one over here that like covers the mouth, so you're gonna have different tiered aspects to your characters. And another really cool armor is a dragon set or dragoon set, looking really nice on all the characters. Especially, you know, I'm biased here, but the goblins look pretty cool, the ogres too. You can see the full set, you know, wearing it right here. This is a pretty sure it's a human. They usually use a human for the standard test model just to showcase that. And we also have some new orbs that they worked up for the wizard class, if I'm not mistaken, that you can dual wield. So those are looking pretty sick, and they're animated. We have, you know, some touch-ups to the troll concepts, which you might have seen on their website before. We've also gotten some new ones over here, which are looking pretty sick. And speaking of concepts, you might have seen this, but this is the character sheet of all the hairstyles that are coming in for early access. Now, keep in mind, there may be more in the future, but these are the ones that, you know, they're going to be working towards to start off with. It might not seem like a lot as a consumer, maybe, but it's actually quite a lot of work. In fact, they're working day and night to just kind of have all these done by the due date. So, and also keep in mind that you might see beards here, and you might see mustaches over here, or like this. But you can actually combine them. So you could use, for example, this mustache with this beard. So it's not necessarily that you're only going to have the mustache option or only the beard option. You're going to be able to mix them. But for the purposes of the sheet, they have them separate. So that's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, some concept art from Goblin. You know, some sketches of ideas. This one looks really sick. Can't wait to see it in the game. Goblin, again, generational artist. He also worked on this new concept piece. I've seen the process of, you know, the different layers to it. Even like this background here was done in 3D and then put back into the 2D painting. So it gives us some depth. Really cool stuff here. Obviously, amazing work. Could never go wrong. And then we have some work from the animations team. You can see that they had got new animations for the ghoul. Both of their attacking, they're dying. Different attack animations. Same for the skeleton. They have some new animations to work with different weapons. And we now have, you know, mounts are coming slowly but surely into the game. And so we have horses and donkeys. And so you can see here the donkey animations for the idol, for the running, you know, the unfortunate death. You know, maybe he's just feign deathing, you know, and the trotting along, which I think is pretty cool. And of course, rats get even more animations, so that's exciting. Bear form. For those of you interested in playing the shaman, we got some new animations that you can see here. Standing up, you know, touching the paws, doing the little jump, sitting down, the different swim animations like idling and actively swimming. So some very exciting things. Obviously, I'm assuming this will be applied to the normal bears too, but this is basically the actions that the player would take, really. And then you have some more animations here for the harvesting of, you know, plants and crops, depending on what you're doing. And some more animations for the deep gnomes, which are looking really good. I can't wait to see the final look of the deep gnomes. This is another race that I'm very interested in playing, besides Goblin. So expect me to see this. This is amazing. This death is like, ugh, he got flipped over. So it's kind of cool to see because each race has their own like unique movement and animation. This little shuffle is pretty nice. Look at him sneaking about, swimming, doing this little jump. I appreciate it, and I love that. I'm getting the little emotes that they're doing together, and of course them harvesting nodes and things like that. And then of course we have environment art, and we have the Deep Elf City that they've been working on, and you can see some of the patterns here. You may recognize the homage if you're an EverQuest player, and you're going to see some other areas as well with the signs, as well as some of the areas. They look a little bit dark, but maybe you could brighten this up as you look at these on the link for yourself. But it's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Some animated, lights as they go up. Some new sections for Failendrol and Evershade Weald. New waterfall in Evershade. New area that you can access through Evershade, so that's exciting. As well as a new area here underneath with Black Tide Orcs, which is also apparently accessible through Evershade, so that's going to be exciting. It's going to make starting on the elf side much more interesting, and it's slowly getting more fleshed out, so I would suggest giving that a go, especially, since I feel like a lot of people are more familiar with Night Harbor. They're probably going to start with Night Harbor. There's going to be more people there, more lag, so maybe if you can start in Elf City, do that if you can. And of course, they showcase some other areas as well. They mentioned this is the little sneak peek that we're getting. This is as much as we're going to see right now, but looking pretty nice, pretty interesting. And we have some more Ashira stuff. You can see the head on a spike right there. The little drawings of the goblins. Some little artwork over here. Michelangelo of the Ashiras is at work. Fantastic work. This looks beautiful. Absolutely love it. We have the gallows, probably for the people who complain. I don't know. We'll see. And they've also presented us with some new mining nodes, because before they all had a similar model with some different shades. Now they actually look distinct, not just in shape, but also the color, so you can easily identify them from very far away what you're mining exactly and what you're getting out of it without necessarily having to click and find out, right? So that's pretty good. Of course, we have a lot of audio and music that's being added. This time they didn't really necessarily have examples like last time, but you can see here that more music was added, Spectre and Bear sounds, ghost sounds, whistles, coin sounds. They fixed a bunch of things, and then they did some optimization passes. And then for UI, they reworked the stable UI. They updated the pet window, the bank, and abilities, so you can see the new stable window. Obviously, this is just as like a placeholder image, but you get the idea of how it would be distributed. Same for the pet window. Same for the new way the bank is going to look with the slots and the shared slots. And of course, when it comes to the website, this is something that people have been asking for a while now, which is having an area where they can check the patch notes. Obviously, before, because it was closed alpha, you couldn't necessarily access the patch notes unless you watched the stream by Nick doing the patch notes. But now that the closed beta is going to be accessible by more people, and it's also going to be streamable, there's an actual patch notes section on the website that I'm also going to link in the video description. So you're more than welcome to check that out and see all the changes that are coming to beta and follow along as they update. In closing, there's quite a bit of work being done, and they're truckling along. Everything's looking good as far as starting on March 1st. Same with early access for June. Seems that everything is slotted, but of course that means that they're working double time to make everything work. So it would be cool to have as many people be able to check it out and be able to play. Obviously, I know getting access is a big part of it. Hopefully you guys get in. Don't forget to opt in. And of course, if you didn't in the meantime, you can come by, watch the stream, hang out. We can talk about the classes. We can talk about, what you're seeing in the stream itself. Get you to get the time rolling a little bit faster as you wait for you to get your hands on the game and play for yourself. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I know this isn't our usual. Not even just with the high edited stuff, it's not even our usual low edited stuff, but I figured this would be the best approach for a thing like this where it's such a long list of things and images, and the images, by the way, are not saved as images. They're like, you can't just like save the image, you have to take a screenshot and then save it. So it's a lot of work. I'm a lazy goblin. So I'll see you guys soon on Sunday for the stream when we'll be playing the beta, hopefully as soon as it's out, but we'll see when that time is. I'll keep you guys posted. Until next time, hopefully with a better edited video. This is Squats